Hey, pleasant good day, everybody. I wish you are having a great and safe and happy and well weekend, and I wish you to have a great and safe and happy and well week. This is Joe Boric from the Flyers Nitty Gritty team, and it is a birthday of a very great all-time Flyer who was part of one of our all-time great line, actually, the Legion of Doom, and that Flyer is John LeClair. Today is his 51st birthday, and he's a guy that, of course, since this is a birthday video on him, we're going to also have to reference the fact that he won the 1993 Stanley Cup with not the Carolina Hurricanes, the Montreal Canadiens, and he was on a team with some greats. He was on a team with Guy Garbanot as their captain. Dan Paus had a great year that year of almost 40 goals. And then they had guys like Kirk Mueller, who had 37 goals. Obviously, Patrick Waugh was a goaltender for that team to lead them to the Cup final. And he also played with another great Flyer in his age 23 season that year, Eric Desjardins, who came to the Flyers, of course, years later. But Johnny, in his Stanley Cup run, played with that other great Flyer and one of our most fun defensemen to watch in recent history, Eric Desjardins. But he won the Stanley Cup with the Canadiens, and then of course he came over here. He was a five-time All-Star. He made the All-Star game for the Flyers. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He made it out of his 5 times for the Flyers. It looks like making it one in the year that he got traded with us in Montreal. So he made it as a five-time All-Star. The biggest thing with John LeClair, though, to his game was for how good he was on offense in the Legion of Doom line, which is why I'm wearing my Seek and Destroy shirt today, because that's exactly what that line did. They seeked and destroyed you. Renberg would get to you. It would either be LeClair or be Lindros with his huge body and obviously ability to score and fend off anybody that came near him when he was healthy. So that line was just a dominant force and literally one of the best to watch when you go back and look at it. I was not blessed to be able to watch it live, but I went back and looked at so many different documentaries, so many different other people's YouTube content on it and all that, and watching highlights of that line, different documentaries of the Flyers. John LeClair was a beast. Michael Renberg was a beast. And, of course, Eric Lindros was a beast as well. And LeClair, of course, also, for how good he was in the offensive end, was sick on the defensive end as well. He had a plus 44 as his highest in his career, which was with us in 96, 97. He also finished in 12th for the Selke that year. So he's a guy that also probably didn't even get recognized enough because of how good he was on offense for how good his defense was. The guy finished his career with a plus minus of a 204. That is ridiculous. That is a absolutely ridiculous plus minus. And the other side of his game is he was one of the clutchest players, too. He had 65 game winners in his career. So if you needed someone at the end of the game that you knew had to step up, that's why that line was so deadly, the Legion of Doom. Anybody on that line could step up for you at the end of the game, and they were all on the same line. No kidding, they were called the Legion of Doom. You had anybody that could step up for you at the end of the game. And obviously, LeClair was a guy that unfortunately obviously we hoped and prayed Lindros would have been healthier in his career, but it wasn't the case. Was around longer and healthier than Lindros in terms of around longer playing game totals for the Flyers. So that's something that weighs for me, where when I look at him, he's for me a guy that is right up there with our all-time greats. I rank him in my top 5 for sure, because also I'm more biased, obviously, because I was born in 96 and watched documentaries of more recent people. So some people might have some guys from back in the 60s and all that, and 70s and all that, and they might have people like that, but I'm not so sure, and I didn't watch as much highlights and docs on people of that nature, but he's for sure as hell in my top 5. He's one of the best Flyers of all time, and he didn't slow down, really. I mean, he slowed down towards the end a bit while I was here, but, I mean, when he was in his age 33 season, he was still able to pot 18 goals for us. I'll take that. 23 goals for us, in his age 34 season before he unfortunately left to go to Pittsburgh, but then he played all right there in his 1 year and then fizzled out and only played 21 games the other year. So even as he was lessening his career, LeClair figured out a way to still be so effective on the ice. The only year he had a very lessened point total, was when he didn't play a lot of games in 00 and 01, and then he didn't play a lot of games in 02 and 03 due to injuries. So other than that, with us, he was productive and was able to score at least high teams goal totals. So he was a guy that was productive throughout his whole career with us, which easily puts the birthday boy in the top 5 for me. The Legion of Doom line was absolutely ridiculous, and LeClair is one of the all-time greats of this organization. He's never going to be forgotten. So this is my video today on our all-time great John LeClair, who was, of course, taken in the second round by Montreal, which was the team, like I said, he won the Stanley Cup with, and he made it to the All-Star game 5 times, as well as being one of the best defenders of his time as well, while being an effective offensive playmaker with 819 points in 967 games and 204 plus minus, as I said. That makes him the great defender, not talked about enough on that side of his game. But I hope everyone has a great and safe week. I'll probably be doing another video in a few days for Flyers Nitty Gritty. This has been my second video for Flyers Nitty Gritty on the happy birthday boy, John LeClair. Happy birthday, Johnny. Hope you have a great and blessed day. Peace out, everybody.